Hello and welcome, friends. So in this video I'm gonna explain what is Jyotish Astrology exactly. I mean, I will explain how it will be possible, in the frame of only one video, and what I am actually doing. So first of all, Jyotish Astrology is a Vedic astrology. It's This is its other name because it comes from Vedas, and also we can call it Vedic psychology actually, because you can put equation sign astrology equal psychology, because Vedic astrology is just other symbolic language used for psychology, but it is a psychology. It's not about forecast. So astrology is not to be used for forecasting because it's nonsense. And why we should not use astrology for forecast, I will later on explain in other video. So meanwhile, first thing to understand, if you wanna watch this video, like if you want to continue watching this video, astrology is equal to psychology, and Vedic astrology comes from the Vedas. So what are the Vedas? I have a Samaveda book here, just started to study. Vedas are the most ancient, they call it the most ancient written Hindu religious text, but actually I think historically there are most ancient written human texts, and they're not actually religious. This is very simplified point of view on Vedas. So first of all, to understand about the Vedas, they are hymns, meaning they are not read, but they are sung actually. Yeah. So the concept of mantra, it goes like all the way to the Vedas, to this text, because they are written like verses, like hymns, and the Vedic people, the Brahmans, like the Vedic priests, they are used to sing this text. So this is these hymns. So this is very, like, again, simplified explanation, but I think it would be enough in the scope of this video, because this video is about Jyotish astrology. So another thing to understand about the Vedas, they are written in symbolical language, and this symbolical language is Jyotish. So how come? So Jyotish astrology is the language which you need to master to understand the Vedas itself. And the Jyotish again was extracted from the Vedas, so they are like come in the symbiosis, let's say. But also Jyotish astrology is called one of the Vedangas, meaning auxiliary disciplines which you need to master to understand the Vedas. Also Vedas, again, I said that they are hymns, and they are like very musical. They have rhythm, they have proper pronunciation, and they are written in Sanskrit initially. And Sanskrit, first of all, it's very musical language, and second of all, it has many, one word has many interpretations. This what we do need to understand about Sanskrit. So it's basically the Vedas. They are like a fractal sound code, yeah. Because if we, for example, if we are singing the mantras or reading these hymns, these mantras, they are because each of these words have a lot of symbolism in one of them. You can imagine they are like spreading like fractals because they have a lot of meaning inside them. So Vedas are also the basis of the Hindu thought, philosophy, and the Hinduism itself. The modern Indian religion, as we know it, it came from the Vedas, like through the historical development of the people who lived in that area. So the first text, which came from the not text but actually books, text, they called Upanishads. So Upanishads is a philosophical text which are explaining the Vedas. So because the Vedas, they are very symbolical, if you just approach to them without this background, it would like be just nonsense. So Upanishads, they are texts which quote different part of the Vedas, and they explain in the terms of philosophy. So there are a lot of profound and deep thoughts inside of the Upanishads. And then we have Puranas. Puranas is the most modern text. For example, Mahabharata and I forgot, Ramayana. They are Puranas. So Puranas, they are the most easiest text to understand and grasp the symbolism because they're written as novels, right? So Mahabharata and uh, Ramayana, uh, there are a lot of them, but the Mahabharata and Ramayana are the most famous, right? I think all of us at least heard these names. So they're written as novels, and they again have a lot of symbolism inside them, but they are easier for us to understand. If you don't have any big background in this philosophy, in this line of knowledge, yeah, you can just read any of the Puranas and it would be interesting. But another thing, all of these texts, what again we should understand, they are fractals, right? So every time you read it, you understand something new for many reasons. Because we, as human beings, become more evolved and experienced, and we again understand the symbolism wider, and also because this symbolical text, again, as I said, have a lot of meaning inside them. Every time we read, we can discover different meaning, different interpretation. So Okay, next I will show you on the screen how natal chart looks like, and how basically astrology works. But of course I will not explain to you whole astrology in one video, but just to have the basic understanding. Okay, so this is my natal chart, and I'm using the, I'll just put my mic a little bit closer, and I'm using the Parashara 9 Astro processor. I just like it, but it's your choice what Astro processor you want to use. What are the differences I explained in it's basically based on the Ayanamsha, and I explained it in my post about zodiacs, and I will leave the link in the description of this video. So this is my natal chart, and it built on northern style. There is also a southern style of natal chart. It looks different from this one, but I actually never saw that somebody is using it, so we will stick to this one. I will give the briefly explanation. So just for you to have the idea of what's going on. So astrology is built on the two concepts, the houses and the yogas. Yoga literally means a conjunction, a joint, a union, right? So and the planets in Grahas, as we call them, because not all the celestial objects here are the planets, right? Because we have sun and moon, and they are actually the illuminaries, right? And for this, there is a term in Sanskrit which is the name of it is Graha. So Graha is everything: the planets, the luminaries, the lunar nodes. All of them are Grahas. Graha basically means the one who captures. So is the one who capturing you. And the houses. So we have 12 houses, and I will count from the beginning. So the first house is Lagna or ascendant, and then we have second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And of course the zodiac. And everyone, of course, if you heard about astrology, you heard about the zodiac. But what is the zodiac in the term of astrology? The zodiac signs, they are actually the domains ruled by some planet. Without a planet, they are useless. For example, this one, 6, is the Virgo, and this one is the Gemini, and they are ruled by Mercury. So Mercury from here ruling these two houses, and so this one is Libra. It's ruled by Venus. This one is the Scorpio, and it's ruled by Mars, and so forth. So every sign, zodiac sign, has a ruler. So, yogas. What is the yoga in the term of astrology? Every planet, when it comes in conjunction with other planet, like here, for example, you see my mouse here. So they come together, Mercury, Mars and Venus in one house, in 12th house, and all of them form yogas. And for example, what does it mean? If I would have only Mercury here in Leo, in 12th house, in my natal chart, it would be one meaning. But since I have Mars and Venus, we should interpret this position already like all of these planets together, and they form like very particular symbolism of Venus, Mars, Mercury in Leo in the 12th house. And again, remember I told you that every zodiac sign has a ruler. So they are located in the Leo, and Leo is ruled by the Sun. Sun is also forming a yoga with Jupiter in 11th house. But look, they are located in Cancer. So what does it mean? Cancer is a sign ruled by the Moon. So Moon ruling my 11th house from here, from the 4th house. But Moon also located here with Rahu, and they form another yoga. And they are located in Sagittarius. And guess what? Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter from 11th house. And what does it mean? So if you paid attention, so you would notice that Jupiter ruled by the Moon and Moon ruled by the Jupiter. So they form another yoga as well, and it means that if they form a yoga, and yoga is a joint conjunction, it means that we should interpret all this position, 11th and 4th house, all together. So they form like very particular symbolism, and we interpret them as one particular sub-personality, because they are like very stick to each other, and they don't exist separately. They don't exist, in my case, without each other, right? And we interpret all together in context of this zodiac signs which are located in the particular house. So the symbolism of the yogas, of the houses, they give us the opportunity to find the sub-personalities and interpret them. And then the goal of the astrologer, of the psychologist, of me, and of you, if you are studying this and want to practice this, to unite all of these sub-personalities in your natal chart and give them one particular goal, meaning, which would be your purpose. So this is actually the Jyotish Astrology. So you see, it's not about the forecasting at all. And again, if you remember, I said in the beginning that Sanskrit is a fractal sound code. And the Jyotish is a symbolism of the so the Vedas, they are written in symbolical language of the Jyotish. So this fractal thing, applies actually to any Vedic science. It might be yoga, it might be Ayurveda, it might be Jyotish. And what does it mean? It means that it is holistic. And in our particular case, this natal chart, there is no one direct meaning of it. There is no direct interpretation. How come? Because we in our Western world, we are used to this precise, direct diagnosis, let's say. And so our mind is very structured. Yeah, any mind is structured, but it came because of our civilization. Western civilization is developed on the Aristotelian logic. And so Aristotelian logic is A equals B and so forth. But Eastern philosophy developed on the paradox logic. And so from Aristotelian logic developed the Christian church with its dogma and dogmatic thinking, and later on the science. And it's really funny that the modern science and the church, the Christian church, they're in conflict, because basically they are like the same, because they have the same way of thinking, which is dogmatic thinking. So what does it mean? It means like dogma equals the last and ultimate truth, right? So science and the church before, they dictate ultimate truth. For example, before church say God is this, right? And now science are like supplying us with different facts and saying like, I don't know, like this world is function like this. So this is the picture of our world, and everything else is blamed as the like heretics, right? So which is not applied to this to their dogmatic truth. And in the paradox logic, on the contrary, the idea of the omnipotent and omnipowerful God was deemed as the highest form of ignorance, actually. And because God cannot be described, that's the thing. And the ultimate truth, it is also cannot be described in the words. And if the ultimate truth and the truth cannot be described in the words, so there is no point for us to fight, for this meaning. And who is right, me or you, so this kind of thing. That's why Eastern philosophy, it is more artistic, more symbolical, and it has a lot of more meaning inside this. And likewise, your natal chart, it also has many interpretations. And again, how come? Because there is no direct destiny for you. We are living in a world with I would say ultimate possibilities, to not say more. And that's why you can realize the same chart in many ways. I'm not saying that it cannot give you like the starting points and the thing what to do, but I'm saying that there is no like direct A to B and to C, like the logic, because the life is the art, right? And you are the creator. So, and there are many ways how you can create your life. And another explanation would be that, for example, two people, they have the same natal chart, but they have different starting point, they have different experience. And for example, we cannot develop all of the sub-personalities like at the same time, together. So basically we move, from the childhood into one aspect of life, then to another, and so forth. And then at some point, when we understand ourselves more, we unite all of it. And likewise, these two people, these imaginary people, so they have different charts, but we are not robots, who are programmed to. Some people are the robots, but we can say that we are not we are as human beings. We don't want to be a robot, right? Especially if you are watching this video, I believe that you don't want to be the machine. You want to be the human and express yourself, right? So likewise, these two people, they are not programmed for particular action. They live life, they have their experience, and all of this is of course is formed by the family, by the society, because all of us are social creatures, and society has a tremendous impact on us, and likewise we cannot survive without society, right? So our first third of life, I would say, is heavily influenced by our environment, our family, and because of it we have different life experience, but we might have the same chart, right? So that is why if for example one person has like one experience and one another, they developed, let's say, different sub-personalities, and when we interpret the natal chart, we should relate to this experience and unite it through the natal chart to give the direction, right? Because we are uniting our past experience, our present, and our future. So this is another explanation. And likewise, you as a person, you can like live your life in many ways. So for example, your family may like lift you, or your family may traumatize you, and if they lift you, you like move into the right direction. If they traumatize you, you can move into another direction. And also again, because each we will come back now to the topic of symbolism. Each of the planets and again the houses, it has many meanings. And all of this applies when we interpret the chart in every particular case. For example, I have Jupiter in 11th house, and Jupiter can be a teacher, and Jupiter can be a role model, and also Jupiter is applies for the one who builds the complete structures, right? So what is complete structure? It's like a business or like a wall piece of art, like, you know, the movie picture, the uh, like fantasy world, any, you know, like coherent and complete structure. So this is Jupiter, and I have my Jupiter in 11th house. And if we will stick to the topic of knowledge, 11th house is the house of fame, so social realization, and that's why I am like telling this to you right now. So I am sharing the knowledge. Okay, so what is the difference between the Jyotish astrology and Western astrology? About this topic, I wrote a post on the Dharma station, and it has profound explanation from my point of view. So I will put the link in the description of this video. But if you do have any question, please write the comments or on this video or below the post, and I will be happy to answer. But summarizing this, we can say that the main difference is that they're using different coordinate system. So also a little bit about my background. I was a navigator, meaning I was piloting the ships, and we studied the like charts and astronomy back in the academy. So this mathematical point of astrology was for me not easy, but rather simple to grasp, and that's why I'm like happy to share my vision and explanation upon it. But coming back to topic about the Western and Eastern point of view, is that they using different coordinate system. So practically it is the tropical zodiac in Western astrology and sidereal zodiac in Jyotish astrology. So Western zodiac, tropical, is tied to the seasons of the earth, and sidereal zodiac is tied to the fixed astronomical positions of the stars. So what does it mean? It means that when you're looking directly upon the sky and want to check the actual position of the Graha against the backdrop of the constellations, for example, you can visually observe the moon against some constellation, right? If you're like somewhere outside the city, and you would see that if, for example, tropical, so let's check where the moon is now. So you see it's showing here in Capricorn. So if you would go now, so the date is correct, but anyway, whenever you're watching this video, it will be correct. So if you would go and check the position of the moon against the backdrop of the constellation, it would be the visual, it would be astronomical and visual and sidereal, as we call it, zodiac. But tropical zodiac is tied to the fixed point of autumn, to the spring equinox, so-called the point of Aries, which is the starting point of the Aries in Western astrology. So it is tied to this point. The tropical zodiac starts there at the spring equinox, when the during the spring, when the day and light are equal, right? But the thing is that this point is also shifting. Why it's shifting, I also explained in this post. But the thing is, the tropical zodiac is not aligned with the actual constellations anymore. It was aligned 2000 years again, but not anymore. So this is why, if you would hear, let's say, full moon in Aquarius, but it is actually in the Capricorn astronomically, and same thing applies to all other Grahas and to your natal chart. So it is like different coordinate system. So I suggest you to read this post, and after this you would have like overall and clear understanding about these differences. I will speak now a little bit about the forecasting, not about why we are not using the astrology for forecast. I will make another video maybe about this, but about two people who brought who reclaimed back the good name of astrology and brought it to the from mysticism and fatalism to science and understanding of ourselves. So the first one was Michel Gauquelin. He was the French psychologist and statistician, and he has very interesting and tragic story. His mother was an astrologer, and he became a statistician to prove that astrology doesn't work. But it happened that he found something very interesting that he didn't expect it to find. So what happened? He made the biggest in the history statistical research. So that's why we are speaking about the science, because he applied the scientific methods to the astrology, and it was the biggest research in the history, 100,000 people. And you can Google and you can buy his book. It's called Mars. I don't remember the exact name of the book, but you can find it in Amazon. But the name of his famous research is called Mars effect. So what does it mean? He found that the most famous athletes, they have Mars either in their Lagna, first sign, or in their 10th sign, which in their first house, in their Lagna, first house of personality, and in their 10th house of the career or social realization. So the most famous known athletes have it. So what Gauquelin actually did, he did the research among the people who were realizing their genetic potential, and he proved like one of the aspects of astrology that, for example, the Mars, if it's in the house of your career or the purpose, it's gives like you can develop the potential, your powerful Mars, and realize yourself through this aspect, right? Through this subpersonality of Mars, because Mars is the planet of the athletes, doctors, builders, and so on. But the thing is about the forecast, like you have the power of will. You have the power of will to do nothing, just to like lie on the couch and to do nothing, because what the forecasts say, you will become this, or you will become that. But you are the human being with the power to make decisions, and nobody know like what you will become. But the astrology is showing you your potential. So, like basically, if you are not making the decisions yourself in your life and want to give your life into other hands, some other hands, you would go to the fortune teller. But if you want to understand yourself, you are going to the psychologist. Okay. What next? The second person is my teacher, Kali Shankar, who was studying Jyotish for a decade or something like this in India, Varanasi, and he applied this concept to the Jyotish astrology, and he realized that we are actually need to use the astrology not for forecasting, but for life purpose. Rectification. So rectification is a very important aspect of astrology, and it is something which differs our astrology from any other astrology. Because again, so what is fortune teller is doing, he or she, based on your date and time, giving you like some, like in that time you will be this, in this time you will have the children, and so on, you know. But rectification is form of psychoanalysis, I would say, where we make sure that the chart what we are looking at the moment is yours chart. Because, for example, I will show you. So this is my birth time here, 9:30, Kiev, Ukraine. But I know it approximately. So what will happen if I put here 10:30, for example? Nothing. Okay. If I put 8:30, oh, you see, and it changed. If I put 9 o'clock, it is the same. So from 9 till 9:30, even I don't know my birth time for sure, only 30 minutes, and we can see that ascendant change. All these 3 planets came to the first house. This everything shifted, so we have like completely different chart. And also in the countries, so there are many errors, like birth time recorded incorrectly, mother she don't remember correctly, summertime, time zone changes, all of this may shift your birth time, and basically it would be, as you can see, like completely other chart. And if, for example, I give you advices based on this chart, if I would give advice to me based on this chart, this will not apply to me. And if I would follow, maybe I will bring myself to some harm and danger. So it's not beneficial, not for me like an astrologer, not for you as one who wants to follow the advice, to rely on the unrectified chart. So how we do rectification in classic astrology? Classic astrology relies on so-called Vimshatari Dasha, classical Jyotish astrology. It's your periods, and basically what they do, they ask you some important events like marriage, I don't know, if you have any incidents, and then they would compare if it aligns with this period. So for example, if you have let's say Dasha period of Mars, then you should have like an incident, traumas, like enemies, fights, and so on. But this is very, I would say, simplified thing, and again, it relies on the concept of good and bad. So it relies on the concept that some Grahas are good, like Jupiter, and some are bad, like Mars and Saturn. But again, if we study Eastern philosophy, we would understand that this is actually a nonsense, because good and bad is like very Christianic and dualistic point of view. There is no good and bad things. Like Mars is not bad, it's just an energy, symbol of energy. Like why the energy should be bad, you know? And again, this is just dualistic paradigm, but if we study the Vedas, the philosophy of Vedanta, Tantra, especially we like Chinese Taoism, they will understand that there are just different aspects of life, Buddhism as well, and we ourselves are referring to them, you know, as the human beings, as good and bad. But in general, they're neutral. So it's our point of view only. So coming back to like philosophical point of view. So again, for example, if we take Taoism, there are like dark thing, there are light thing, but in the middle, which unites everything, is the Tao, and the Tao is your path, and the path is your purpose. So everything is important. So and everything is important in your natal chart, and we are all very unique. We are born with these particular positions for a reason, and it's our job to find the implementation for them, and implementation brings the sense of the realization. So this is purpose. So how we do the rectification in our astrology? We do psychoanalytical session where I'm asking you questions about your life, your experience until the point in your life until now, your motivation, your inspiration, your life choices, and it's related to everything, to your career, to your partners, and through this we can see that the representation of this position in your natal chart. For example, I will bring back here to 9:30 to give you an example. So I spent 10 years, even 12 years at sea before. Not like in a row, but from the 18 years till 30 years I was doing this. And we can see that I have very powerful 12th house, and 12th house is the house of foreign lands, isolation, immigration. So I had like a lot of isolation. I saw a lot of remote places, and everything like this is all of this is a symbolism of the 12th house. As I said, like every house has many meanings. So, but that time the life was happening to me. So I was not living life, but watching it as an unconscious dream. So again, it happens like because of our upbringing, education, and so forth. So like our environment is pushing us to giving us the direction. But we, as the conscious beings, as the authors of our life, we are studying the astrology and psychology to give this direction by ourselves, by the choice. I mean, to taking the choice and responsibility for our lives. So, and for example, through the rectification, if I ask myself the question in my life story, I would see that this person like spent in isolation a lot of time, and like so we can like see this sub-personality. But then we like ask another questions, and we need to confirm like all these positions that they are somehow were visible during the life path of this person, because every position it can be manifested either consciously or unconsciously. If we are unconscious, like life pushing us in whatever direction, and all of these sub-personalities are fighting each other, you know, all of them want attention. If we are like suppress them, we have the illness, and from here we have like the suffering, and you know, all these kinds of things. But if we can consciously apply them, all our skills to something, eventually we maybe will be happy about life at some point. So rectification. I'm asking you questions, you give me the answers. We together want to make sure that this is really your chart, and we can see the manifestations of these positions in your life. And then, based on this data, what you gave me, I am interpret, like I distinguish the sub-personalities, I explain them to you, I explain my vision how you can unite them all together, and I give you the different scenarios how you can practically apply them in your life. So again, it's like the creative process, because there are maybe many scenarios, and I always try to explain as much as possible and give the possibilities. But again, it is your choice how to apply this knowledge, and if you apply them at all. Okay. So I will go through also some of the questions which I was asked. Like the most famous question is what is your zodiac sign? And someone says, for example, Leo. And what this information gives to astrologer? Nothing, actually. How come? Because like first thing is as I said, astronomically people give this position in tropical zodiac, and astronomically they will not be correct. So it might be not Leo but Cancer, yeah, like in my case. But even then, we don't know where this Cancer is located, right? So the Cancer may be located in any house. Like in my case, it's located in 11th house, but it may be any other. But this Cancer is ruled by the moon, and this moon is also located somewhere. It may be located anywhere. And this moon is ruled by also someone, and so forth, you know. So the point is that we looking upon the natal chart holistically as a whole, and we interpret this chart as a whole. That's the thing. Full moon in Virgo, what does it mean? Again, when people ask this question, they asking like most likely about transit. Like I answered like the previous question about the chart, but let's say full moon in Virgo. Well, yeah, for sure. If we don't speak about the reference system again, for sure it means something. But what you should understand about the transits. So again, if it's Virgo, in my case, if it's not Leo, if it's really Virgo, in my case it would be first house, right? So in every other case, in your case, it would be some other house. So for me and for you, this transit would be like felt and manifested in a different way. And another thing to understand about transit is that we are looking upon the transit through the lens of the purpose, first of all. Because if you're doing like what everybody is doing, right? They associate the astrology only with transit and ask for fortune telling. And what happens? Like you are as a paper, paper boat which is pushed by the universe in like every other direction. I will give you like real example from my life. like real world example. So imagine if you are a captain on the ship and you monitoring a weather forecast. So the weather forecast is reliable tool to avoid a danger, right, in the ocean, even in the sea. So you should monitor it if you want to be safe. But the ship usually it's going like I was working on the cargo ship. It's going from point A to point B. Even if you're like using your like yacht or whatever, your recreational boat, you want to go somewhere, right? And so what happens if you are, imagine if you are don't have the um, direct, if you don't have the direction in your life, but you rely only on the weather forecast. So where will you eventually come? You will be just, pushed in any other direction without your like conscious choice who I am and where I am actually going. So again, coming back to metaphor about the captain, so you are the author of your life. You know the direction of your life, where are you going, who you want to become. So this is your purpose. And like the transits, this is like auxiliary tool, and they are useless if you didn't answer this question, like who I am, which is represented by the first house, which is house of dharma. So before that, the transit is the useless tool. And however, it may be a powerful tool, but without this knowledge, it's useful. So that's why I structured my consultation in two. So first is the foundation, which is mostly focused on purpose, and the advanced consultation, it's focused on like other things which astrology can offer, like transits, Surya Lagna, Chandra Lagna, Nakshatras, compatibility, and other things. Okay, I think this is it for this video. This is everything what I wanted to explain until now. Thanks for watching, and again, if you have any questions, I would really appreciate them, because for me it would be again simpler to structure the flow of my storytelling.